Hey, Awesomes, how's it going? Welcome to week 12. I hope you're doing well. So this week, week two, or the project extension, you've got till Sunday. If you want to get that turned in, of course, you can turn it in sooner. I think there's been a few that have already been turned in. And I'll be taking a look at those, but we want to try to get those done this week so I can start looking at them, get some feedback to you next week at the very latest. And then we're going to use the information that we've got from Project 2, then becomes Project 3, as we discussed last week. And as I sent out you a message, I think it was Friday, I had posted some sample 3 multimodal assignments. And we're going to look at those in greater detail this week. Didn't want to inundate you last week because we were talking about, we're still finishing up Project 2, getting your all your sections together, introduction, profile, current issues, communication, advice, and of course your conclusion. And then we're going to think about how we're going to translate that written artifact, right, your written essay for Project 2 into a different space, right, multimodal. We're going to think about visual elements, visual design elements, and visual design basics this week. And so read over, if you don't mind. Take some time to look at this the visual design basics. And I think that more than anything, if I was to draw your attention to anything, think about when it's got this example of kind of pulling it all together. And I think contrast, hierarchy, things of that nature are probably most important to me. White space, lining things up. In other words, don't throw things on a website if you decide to do a website. I don't want to say willy nilly, but think about the contrast that you have. Are the titles for each page standing out? Is the menu clear? Is it clear to your audience where things are? Maybe try to be consistent in your hierarchy. And hierarchy is kind of one of my favorite concepts right here that deals with, okay, this is like an upper level heading, and then these are kind of like subheadings, kind of like we do even when we think about in written essays, or sometimes perhaps when you look at some of your journal articles or some of your resources or your sources for Project 2. You'll notice that there is a hierarchy of, so this is a title, right? Or a heading. Example of pulling it all together. Notice it is in a larger font. And then, of course, underneath there with the actual text there is a smaller font, right? That's just an example of hierarchy. And then, of course, contrast here, you've got this type of a background. And then, of course, you can read stopbullying.gov, really clearly. It stands out. And of course, if you have something like this, the shapes, that we're used to kind of seeing when you go to a website. So think about hierarchy shows the difference in significance between items. I like contrast, focuses on making items stand out, emphasizing them. And so our sample graphic design, our sample Project 3 multimodal assignment, I feel it does this pretty good. So if we just kind of start to click through some of these, we'll notice that we could probably improve this a little bit. Introduction to graphic design, right in through here. It's hard; it doesn't necessarily stand out as much. Maybe if it was moved over here, where the contrast for the entire title for this page is a little better. But we've got good hierarchy here. All you need to know is in bold, and then we've got some of the text right here. The thing this is missing here would be links, maybe a few more graphics on that page. And then once we kind of get going in, we do have so preparation stands out a little bit better on this one. This right here could maybe use some work, maybe just needs to be moved around. We've got some good interactive here. Where we've got some slides kind of moving around, but we're still kind of missing a little bit more of that interactivity that we kind of would expect in a website. Kind of like we go back to visual design basics right in here. These are going to be hyperlinks, right, to something else. These probably will be hyperlinks right in here, and then allows the user, right, your audience, to participate a little bit more in your website. And that's what really makes the